Alright boys, we are back with another shit talking session, and in today's video, I'm going to be putting every single 2024 starting point guard into a tier list. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, help a brother out, help me reach 700 subs. I will be also making one for every other position as well, so stay tuned for that. Let's get right into things, man. Firstly, just some rules and exceptions. I'm including both Luka and Kyrie in the video because even though one of them starts at the 2, let's be honest, they're both point guards. And on the other end of things, I'm excluding anyone from the Phoenix Suns because Devin Booker's going to be their starting point guard and he's a shooting guard, okay? Let's get right into things. So firstly, I'm going to start off with the booty tier, okay? I'm putting Talen, Horton, Tucker, and I'm putting Tre Jones. All I got to say is, if these guys are starting at point for your team, then your team is going places, man. Now, you may not like where you're going because it's probably right to the fucking draft lottery, but you're still going places nonetheless. THT is actually, he puts up pretty nice stats as a starter, I'll be honest, but he's just not starter material right now on a competitive team. Tre Jones, great young player, like him a lot as a backup, but he's too undersized as a starter and it hurts him defensively and he's not a great shooter either. So they're in that dead last tier for me. Now, in that D tier, I'm putting Kyle Lowry in there. He's just not that effective of a player anymore. Realistically, he might even be a third string guy, but yeah, he's just not that great anymore. I think he's better than THT and Tre Jones, but I can't put him above anyone else in that C tier once you see who they are. So I've got him there. Now let's go on the other end of things, all right? S tier, pretty straightforward over here. I'm going to put Steph Curry for obvious fucking reasons. Putting Luka, again, for obvious reasons. And then Dame Lillard as well. I feel like Lillard's someone that's kind of being slept on as of late, but there's no doubt he's still an S tier type player. Or if you want to be really picky about it, it goes Steph, and then it goes Luka and Dame, and then it goes everyone else, okay? So that's my S tier. Now, A tier, I think these ones are pretty straightforward as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put everyone in there. I've got Ja Morant. I've got De'Aaron Fox. Got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've got Kyrie Irving. Maybe I'll put Kyrie above Shai for now. Got Trae Young. We got the man Jalen Brunson. He's a fucking gun. We've got, you know what? I don't know if this is a bit of a bold take, but I'm putting Tyrese Haliburton in that A tier as well. You know, although this is somewhat based off of how good of a player they are right now, I'm also kind of taking into consideration what I expect them to look like next season. And there's no doubt Tyrese Haliburton's only going to get better. I've also got Jrue Holiday. Look, doesn't put up the nicest numbers in comparison to all these other guys, but with the role that he's asked to play on his team, he fits that team perfectly, right? He's a second/third option, whereas all these other guys in the A tier are pretty much number 1 options. Who else have we got? I am also putting Jamal Murray. I think if anything, showed up in the biggest stage, you know, in the NBA Finals, and you just can't be not happy for the guy after he, you know, came back from a torn ACL and absolutely showed out. And I think, you know, this is where he belongs, okay? You know, I don't care if he's not as good in the regular season, because if you step it up on the biggest stage, you deserve to be in the A tier. So I've got him as well. I think that's about it. Now, I think those are very set in stone. Now, this right here coming up is probably going to, you know, rile some people up. I'm putting James Harden in the B tier, and I'm putting Darius Garland in the B tier. I think they just miss out on that A tier. They're not there yet. Darius Garland possibly can be an A tier player. You know, if you revisit this video 6 months from now, I might look like a fucking idiot. James Harden, on the other hand, look, man, obviously first ballot Hall of Famer, you know, kind of revolutionized the game with, you know, step back threes, foul baiting as well, I suppose. But if we're being honest, he's getting up there in age. Is like, what? I think he's going to be either 34 or 35 next season. Let me quickly check that. So he's going to be 34 or 35 years old next season. He's a fucking diva. You know, he's requested a trade from Philadelphia and prior to that Brooklyn and then, you know, Houston as well. There's a lot of shit going on. He's turning 35 next season, okay? So he's getting up there in age. He's not going to get any better. He's only going to get worse. He's a fucking diva. Right now, as it is, he's not a second option on the championship team. I'm sorry. I just don't think he is. You know, if you put him next to the MVP in Joel Embiid, they still crumbled in a 7-game series. Both of them fucking choked in game 7. Like, I know Embiid deserves his fair blame of shit as well, but, you know, if James Harden, like, yeah, he steps up when there's no pressure at all. Like, when Embiid was out, it was like dropping 45 points, carrying the 76ers to a victory. But when your team needs you the most, you're not there. Sorry, man, that's not worthy of an A tier for me. There's just no way I see him getting any better. So I think he's a B tier player right now. Garland, I really like him, and I was strongly considering putting him in the A tier, but I just don't think he's better than anyone in that A tier right now. So because of that, I have to put him in that B tier. I think a few other pretty straightforward inclusions would be Lamelo Ball, CJ McCollum, definitely. These are all standard B tier guys. Cade Cunningham, man, very underrated. He's going to have a fucking great breakout season. I think he's a mid B tier type player right now. End of the season could be a high B, could be a borderline A tier. We don't know yet. He's a B tier type player. Look, we've got to put the man Russell Westbrook in there as well. You know, it feels weird like putting Russ and James Harden in the same tier right now. But on one end, you got one guy that disappointed, and then you got the other guy in Russ who carried the Clippers in their playoff series. You know, without Kawhi, without Paul George. There's only one that showed heart. You know, and because of that, I value that a lot in a player. I think he's still deserving of a B tier. And yeah, look, got to put Fred VanVleet as well. Steady fucking Freddy. Not the most efficient when it comes to the offensive side of things, but no doubt still a very, very good player, and it'll be very disrespectful to put him in the C tier. Now, you know what? I'm not going to lie. My bias really wants to put Derrick White in the B tier, but because as a Celtics fan, I've seen what this guy is capable of doing when he is starting at the point guard position, when he's the one running the show. But because the rest of the world hasn't seen it yet, we'll leave him off there for now. I'll put him in the C tier, but he's a high C / a low B right now. And trust me when I say this, by the end of the season, he's going to bona fide B tier type player. All you motherfuckers thinking that he's not a B tier guy are going to be like, okay, damn, this guy was correct. He's a B tier for me. Sorry, he's a high C tier, right? Just to make the crowd happy, okay? Because, yeah, look, he's not in the same tier as a Garland or a Lamelo Ball or, you know, James Harden yet. But he fits the Celtics team very well. But we'll put him at a high C for now. High C / low B, okay? Now, this C tier is pretty much made up of guys who are, you know, pretty straightforward, like role players that any team could use. Got Derrick White there. Got to put the man Tyus Jones there as well. We all know what he did for the Memphis Grizzlies when he was starting in place of Ja. Now, yeah, he's a great player. But yeah, I'll put him there too. Got to put the man Dennis Schroder as well. He's showing out in the FIBA World Cup right now. Obviously a high level backup point guard for any team. You know, he's someone that you could use, yeah, ideally as a high level backup, but he is probably a low end starter in my opinion. If he's starting on a championship team, you better hope you have like a LeBron or a KD or someone next to him, but anyone could use this guy on the team. Yeah, look, and everyone else that I have remaining on this list kind of fits that same mold. So I've got Mike Conley in here. Still very steady, you know, still does everything very well. Great leader, can shoot obviously, but getting up there in age too. But on the Timberwolves team, he fits there fine because, you know, Ant-Man's just fucking insane. And other than that, you know, we've got one of the best role players, got Alex Caruso in there. Not a natural playmaker at that point guard position, but it would be criminal to put him in the same tier as Kyle Lowry, the way Lowry's playing right now. No disrespect to Lowry. He showed out in a few very important games when the rest of the Heat guys weren't stepping up, but he's not going to do that 82 games in the season, okay? Look, we've got to put this man here as well. D'Angelo Russell, he gets shit on a lot. He's a bit of a meme, you know. Completely disappeared in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he's still good for giving you 17, 18 points, 5-6 assists as well. Shooting like, what, 37, 38% from three. He's still a good player, all right? And then we've got to put Markelle Fultz in there. Look, he's probably never going to live up to the Bradley Beal, James Harden comparisons, but still a very fine NBA player. Not in that way, but you know what I mean. You know, he's a lower end starter, but a high end role player. We've got to put the man Spencer Dinwiddie as well. Dinwiddie, I feel like, is someone. He's got a bit of tunnel vision, always looking to score. His numbers look great, but is not the most effective, if you know what I mean. So that's pretty much it for my tier list, man. Like, you know, there's a few different arguments you can make for a few certain plays. You know, you could argue that James Harden belongs in the A tier You could argue that Darius Garland perhaps belongs in the A tier. Maybe you can even argue dropping Jrue Holiday into the B tier. But I think other than that, it's a pretty solid list. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Stay tuned for the shooting guard edition. I'll put that one out in a few days. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.